And we have arrived in the next field. Now these are also Allstar and they are also ripe. And these trees are actually giving a lot of apples this year. So these have all been picked already. And they still carry a lot, which is great. Almost the whole field is like this. It does carry a lot of apples this year, that's good. The field on the other side of the creek has a lot less apples, as the trees really take a turn like they do every year. So we only have about 50% of that field in production every year. That's just how that is. So now let's get the tractor and load these apples up. So this Allstar field here is also finished now. So we can now move on to the middle field. And we only had to pick a little bit of this field, as there's still a lot of it hanging. So we only picked the red ones for the first pick. So there's still quite a bit left in this field. And that's good. So we do have a good second harvest. Now this field is up. This is 2 hectares of Allstar, and it's very diverse how many apples there hang. As we have rows we will pick a lot, and we also have rows where we pick less than a bin of apples. That's just because a lot of trees here take a turn. So on the front here it looks all perfect. That's because this corner here is producing a lot now. But if you walk more into the middle, then it's completely empty. So that's just something we have to suffer with these Allstar, and something we don't tend to fix because of the cost to fix it. So it's just what it is. Production isn't that high. as you see, some trees are actually having a lot of apples, so this is really good. Well, the best thing about these trees is we didn't have to do any hand thinning this year, so all the apples got this big without any hand thinning. And as you can see, most of the apples are 70 millimeters or 80 millimeters, and that's really good, especially for not doing any hand thinning. So it has definitely reduced the cost and still get a lot of good quality apples out of this orchard. The quality of the apples in general is also good, so that means you can store these apples really well, and they are hard and they have a lot of taste, and they also have the color. So that's all perfect as we wanted. Not all the apples here will be picked today. As you see, this one here is still brown and only a little bit of red. So this will be left, and this will also be left. And this one will be picked. This one will be left. And then the top ones will also be picked because they already got a lot of sun and they really need to be taken out of the orchard. And here we got a nice load of Allstar. So these will be sold directly, so they can go into the supermarket. So let's bring these home and put them in the cooling until the truck comes to load them up. Well, that was all the Allstar for the first pick. So we're now gonna pick up the machines and bring them home and then clean up everything. And yeah, ready for next week. So next week we will be picking Conference, as they are also ripe. They have about the same pick date as the Allstar. We just choose to pick the Allstar before the Conference, so the Conference can still get a little bit bigger. But yeah, it's time to pick them. You just always need the empty bins on the front wheels of the trailer. If you don't do that, then the trailer is really gonna jump on the road. So having this weight up front really helps. Now let's head home. So there's a few issues that we have with the pluk-o-traks, and one of them I want to solve, and I will actually solve two of them. Because we harvest with the machines, the wool harvest, and we have radios on the machines, but they don't have an alternator, only the ignition. They do not really charge the battery, only a very little bit, just enough for the spark plug and to start it once a day. And that works perfect, but we want to have good radio, and I cannot easily retrofit an alternator on here. So what we always do during harvest is just charge the battery every 2 weeks, and the same thing has to happen during winter, but I know it doesn't happen in the winter, and it's always a struggle during harvest because all the machines have to be opened and chargers have to be attached. So I bought these fancy chargers so I can mount one in each machine. The idea is that we charge them during harvest every weekend and also the whole winter. So while the machines are not harvesting, they can keep this charger on, because these chargers have a special mode to maintain the battery if it's not being used. And that really makes a lot of sense, as now batteries, they really suffer from winter. And yeah, I can take them out and put them somewhere, but we will forget to charge them. Just the thing is, we don't have the chargers, so I would have to buy chargers anyway. So I thought better invest a bit of money and get 3 proper chargers, one for each machine, and install them. So let's install them now. The battery chargers are on the machines, so now they can charge during the night and also tomorrow. And on Monday they will start picking again, and then we have fully charged batteries. I hope this is gonna work a lot better for the future, and I hope it's also gonna save us some batteries, as that's where the chargers should pay back themselves.